I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:30. I call this meeting to the Northwest Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is still present. This meeting has been duly called, and the notice of meetings has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551. We will now adjourn into executive session. Good evening, everybody. Having a great time. I'm glad to be here today.
Absolutely.
My mic is on. We're good.
Is it on? Okay.
We're going to reconvene for the regular meeting today. If you would, please rise for the invocation and pledge. Dr. Ward?
All right, folks. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. We appreciate your attendance. If you feel comfortable doing so, please pray with me. Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, and Lord, just be with all of us as we go about the business of our school district. Lord, we appreciate you allowing us to be part of such a great school district with just a group of phenomenal kids that we serve. Lord, we ask that you bless this meeting and just see us all safely home. And above all thing else, Lord, just provide your love, your guidance, your wisdom, and your protection to our children. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, thank you all. All right, guys, we have a very special guest. Cole, get on up there, big guy. Up there, big guy. There you go, Cole. Cole is a third grader at Nance Elementary School. Hugh and Angela, thank y'all for being here. Thank you very much. Cole is going to be, he's going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiances tonight. Cole's favorite subjects are science, FFA, and math. He likes to play with his rabbit, and he likes playing with his friends and riding his bike. Mrs. Bowl, this is what Mrs. Bowl said about you, Cole. I nominated Cole because he is a great student who always works hard. He also is a great participant in FFA. Now, she asked me to talk to us about your rabbit. Who's your rabbit, Cole?
My rabbit is named Obi-Wan. He's a Polish. He could fit in my hat.
Well, Cole, thanks for being here. So why don't you help us do the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag and then the Texas flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job. Now Texas, please. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, Cole, stay put. We got a little gift for you.
Before we move down to recognitions, if you haven't seen the artwork up and down the halls and in the pack over there, feel free to go over there. There's some amazing artwork by our kiddos. So we're going to move down to item number 5, recognitions. Dr. Warren.
Mrs. Conklin.
Yes, if you and Mr. Schluter will make your way down to the front. We have a lot of good recognitions this evening. We'll be starting off with our partners in education. We are pleased to recognize our Adopt a School partners tonight. So at this time, we would like to invite, if they're here with us this evening, Seven Hills Elementary School Principal Kim Blackburn and Chisholm Trail Middle School Principal Matrice Raven to join us at the front. So joining us tonight is Dr. Curtis Merritt. He is representing both Care Direct Texas and Little Black Bag House Calls. Care Direct Texas has chosen to adopt Seven Hills Elementary. The organization provides affordable health care for the community surrounding the school. Dr. Merritt is also representing Little Black Bag House Calls, which is adopting both Seven Hills Elementary and Chisholm Trail Middle School campuses. Their organization also serves the community by providing affordable telemedicine services in Newark and Wise County. Dr. Merritt and his wife Amanda are parents and passionate volunteers as active members of the PTA for both campuses. So please join me in welcoming Care Direct Texas and Little Black Bag House Calls as NISD partners in education. you are a staff ambassador here this evening, line up with Jerry Cantu in the back, and we'll be recognizing you guys at the very end. Yes, those pens right there in the bowl. Yep. So our first recognition this evening, Dr. Warren, you can accept on behalf of the school district, but it is for the school district's Twitter account. So at Northwest ISD has been named among the top Texas school district accounts for Region 11 by the Texas Social Media Research Institute, which is part of Tarleton State University. The account was ranked number 6 in the area, and rankings are based on clout scores, which is a metric used to rank online influence and the amount of followers. This is NISD's 3rd consecutive year to be on this list. So next, we would like to invite Nathan Cage to the front. Nathan has been named our most recent GYM winner. GYM stands for Going the Extra Mile and is an award presented to central office employees who provide great customer service and are attentive to others. He is known for his positive attitude and is always willing to assist campuses and others who need help. Okay, next, for our next recognition, I'd like to ask our Director of Outsourced Operations, Dana Chandler, to come to the front. She is representing part of Durham Transportation with this recognition. And then I'd also like to invite Northwest High School junior Katarina Deshaney to the front. So earlier this, okay. Just a little background on why we're recognizing her, but she is a true hero for us this past month. So earlier this month, she was on her normal bus ride to school when the bus driver appeared to be having some health issues. So thanks to her quick actions of calling 911, she actually assisted with saving this bus driver's life. So we are told the bus driver is doing much better today, and we're so thankful for the prompt action that she took that day. So finally this evening, we are recognizing staff members who participated in our Northwest ISD Staff Ambassador Program. So this training addresses attitudes and mindsets, helping each member to become an advocate for our schools, and is designed to change the conversation about Texas public schools. So their campus principal or department supervisor selected this group of about 71 that are representing every campus and department. So this evening we'll present a lapel pin, which you have, I think, behind you, yes, to represent their dedication and commitment for being an advocate for not only NISD but public education. So as I call your name, just come forward with your index card, and I'll do my best not to butcher your names. No. And then you can receive your pen and then stay at the front for a group picture. So we have Dolores Laughlin, James Hammer, John Phillips, Micah Gerke, Barbie Longbreak, Carla Felipe, Jacqueline Chisholm, Shannon Burnett, April Allison, Cameron Taylor, Sarah Goodwin, Erin Isbell, Vanessa Bellew, April Ferris, Pam Withers, Taylor Smith, Robin Ward, Heather Fowler, Amy Kleckner, and Unbi Cho. Okay, so if you guys can make a couple of rows, maybe 3 or 2.
Yeah, make sure your head's not directly behind someone else's head.
And this is all of our recognition this evening.
Apparently they heeded my advice and checked out the artwork.
That's exactly right.
Moving down to my favorite item, number 6, public participation. Oh, no public participation tonight. Item number 7, consent agenda. Board members?
Mr. President,
Mr. Wright?
move to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
A motion has been made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Dr. Roush for the motion as submitted. All those in favor? Those opposed, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Moving on to discussion and action items. Number 8A, naming of Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Warren.
Board, I very proudly present to you the name of Michael Griffin. Dr. Griffin is currently Executive Director of Elementary Education, and we are very proudly presenting her as the candidate for Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction.
Mr. President,
Scott.
I'd like to make a motion to name Dr. Michael Griffin as Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction for Northwest ISD as recommended by the administration.
A motion has been made by Ms. Kopp, seconded by Dr. Simpson for the motion as read. Is there any discussion on this item? All those in favor? Those opposed, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Congratulations, Ms. Griffin. Naming the principal for Northwest High School, under B, Dr. Warren.
And we proudly present you the name of Ms. Carrie Jackson, current middle school principal in Keller ISD. Carrie went through a really, really grueling process that we put all the candidates through in our committee work, and plus the interview with me.
Yeah.
But both the committee and I am very pleased to provide for you. And in fact, Carrie is the current president of TASSP, the Secondary Principals Association in the state, and I think she will be a very dynamic leader of Northwest High School for the beginning of the 18-19 school year.
Members?
Hey, Mr. President.
Mr. Sproul, thank you.
I move to name Carrie Jackson as principal of Northwest High School as recommended by the administration.
Second.
A motion has been made by Mr. Sproul, seconded by Dr. Roush for the motion as read. Any further discussion on this item? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Under 8C, proposed medical premiums for 2018-2019 plan year. Dr. Warren.
Board, page 82 in your packet begins the information. Kitty did a really good job last board meeting presenting this to you. Of course, the great news is there will be no premium increases recommended by the administration to you. The actual PowerPoint presentation, if Kitty needs to go over anything with you again, I know Mr. Sproul's had one question about the premium. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I do. I was just curious on the, well, let me look at how I worded the question real quick. The 325 district contribution, is that monthly, and is that to help offset the cost?
Yes, sir. It is monthly.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Board, I would recommend you approve the medical premiums for the 18-19 school year.
Mr. President,
Mr. Wright.
move to approve the proposed medical premiums for 2018-2019 plan years recommended by the administration.
Second.
Oh, I'll give that to Ms. Kopp. Motion has been made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Ms. Kopp for the motion as read. Any further discussion on this item?
Just really glad that we're able to not have any increases. Great job, great work.
Yeah, that's great timing. Good point, Josh. Thank you, Ms. Paylor. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
8D, 2018-2019 TDA contract renewal with Airmark and pricing for 2018-2019 school year. Dr. Warren.
Board, this information begins on page 91 in your packet. John introduced this to you last board meeting. Mr. Graswich, any comments?
No, it's exactly as we presented last time.
And Mr. Sproles actually had a...
I apologize. With taxes, getting that done, I kind of got behind on my questions, but the thing, this is more just curiosity. I saw, Airmark gets their fees, whatnot, but I guess the wording was confusing with USDA pricing requirements, and then there's guaranteed reserve terms. One sheet says one amount, another sheet said another. I was just kind of curious, how does Airmark make their money? Is it by the volume of meals sold, or is it just that fee?
It's on the fee. You want to elaborate, Debbie?
We're a flat fee. I think we submitted the whole entire contract this time, so there might be two different guarantees because we have to include 17-18 and 18-19 when we submit the packet to the state. That's why there's two different amounts. And then we are a flat fee. We do not go up per meal anymore. So that's it, no matter how many meals we serve, whether we go up or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no growth.
Management fee that they charge us to manage the business.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks.
Board, I would recommend approval of the Airmark contract.
Mr. President,
Dr. Roush.
I motion that we vote to approve the 2018-2019 TDA contract renewal with Airmark and the pricing for 2018-2019 school year as recommended by the administration.
A motion has been made by Dr. Roush, seconded by Dr. Simpson. For the motion as read, any further discussion on this item? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Moving to 8E, consider offering teacher a fourth-year probationary contract pursuant to Texas Education Code 21.102. Dr. Warren.
Board, I'd like to present Ms. Cassidy Free to you as a teacher that we are going to offer a fourth year of probationary contract for further evaluation on. That is the recommendation of the administration.
Would you state that name again, please?
Cassidy with a K, K-A-S-S-I-D-Y, Free, F-R-E-E.
Mr. President,
Mr. Wright.
move that the board determine that it is doubtful that Cassidy Free should be given a term contract and offer Cassidy Free a probationary contract for 2018-2019.
A motion has been made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Ms. Kopp. For the motion as read, any further discussion on this item? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 5-1. Dr. Simpson voting against.
Thank you, Board.
Moves us down to 8F, and that is create a nominating committee for the 2018-2019 board officers. As you remember, the last meeting I tasked Mr. Wright to put together a committee. So according to our legal requirements, we need to vote on that. So I need a couple of volunteers to serve on this committee with Mr. Wright.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mr. Steve Sproles, Mr. Mark Schluter, and Josh Wright on the nominating committee to serve on the 2018-2019 board officer nominating committee.
A motion has been made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Ms. Kopp, and I'll read these again, that Mr. Sproles, Mr. Wright, and myself will be on this committee. Any objections? Discussion? Anyone wishes they were on there? Okay. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Moving down to item 9, reports. The first one on A is March financial and investment report. Dr. Warren.
Board, the investment report this month begins on page 130 in your packet. Mr. Graswich.
We had two securities mature in March, totaling $15 million, and we invested another $10 million in two additional securities. Securities that matured were in capital projects and general operating fund. We reinvested general operating fund and some sinking fund, but kept the capital projects to continue construction. We had $269 million invested. The interest earnings are up to 1.6%. We're seeing a rise in interest rates, which is good for the general fund, not so good for the debt service fund, and we'll be issuing bonds at our next meeting, coming back to the board for about $100 million. The investments are, according to district policy, diversified in investment instruments. They are diversified in regard to maturities as well, and we are outperforming all our benchmark comparisons. I do want to mention at this point, it's kind of interesting seeing the increase in the Federal Reserve interest rates. They're raising the short end of the yield curve, and so the short end's coming up, but the long end is not moving up very much. And so we're starting to see a lot of speculation in the press on what happens if they go to a flat yield curve, and even more importantly, would they keep increasing interest rates to where the short end is actually higher than the long end. And the reason that would be important is because that is traditionally a signal for economic recession. So it's going to be rather interesting to see what the Federal Reserve does with interest rates over the next year. They say that they would want to go up 3 more times, but unless the long end goes up, that might not be what they end up doing. So there's a lot of interest in interest rates, quite frankly. The two things that are involved with this would be inflation, and on the other side, though, the sensitivity of the housing market to increasing interest rates as well on mortgages and mortgage financings. So we're going to be watching the economic outlook quite a bit. I think we're in a favorable market, though, still for issuing debt. We'll come back to you all at the next meeting to talk about that in detail. We had $300,000 in earnings, $2 million year to date on the funds that were invested, and the quarterly report is, and the asset management reports and everything are attached. Be happy to answer any questions or give any additional information as requested.
John, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You mentioned that it hurts us in the bonds since we're selling bonds later on. Is there a balance there somewhere with the money that are in our bonds versus what we have in savings?
It's really in funds. The general fund prospers, and the debt service fund is the one that has to pick it up on the other side. Fortunately, we have a pretty strong, vibrant tax base, and so in some ways it's actually to our benefit because we can use the additional interest earnings to help fund the general fund problems that we discussed earlier today. And the other side, of course, we have to, where it could be a problem, quite frankly, in the long run, isn't with this bond issue so much it would be with the next one, because we only have 5 cents of capacity left, and we'll probably be building a high school and quite a bit of other buildings in the next bond issue, bond authorization, I should say, election. So in the long run, that's more of my concern than in the short run. We've got this one planned out, and I think we'll be okay.
Anything else, board members? Thank you, Mr. Grass.
Good job, John.
Moving down to 9B, Fine Arts District Effectiveness Report. Dr. Lacefeld is going to sing and dance for us, I heard.
I thought you were going to be in the show with me. I'll do it if you will.
Okay. Don't tip me.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to bring the Fine Arts District Effectiveness Report to you. And before we get started, I did want to take a moment and introduce a teammate of mine. This is Rebecca O'Donovan. She's our Fine Arts Coordinator, part of our team, so could not function without her assistance. I've got a lot of pictures of our kids and some of the different things that they are involved in, showcasing some of the different programs that we offer our students, as well as some of the achievements. And so I'll tell you about those as we go through. But I'm basically going to give you an overview of the programs we offer, some enrollment figures, some of the student achievement in there, and then some of our plans for the future, as well as some of the challenges we face. So you have the Northwest Band right there. And our vision is to be the premier school district in the state for the visual and performing arts. Taking a look at the programs that we currently offer, we offer studies in art, band, cheerleading, choir, color and winter guard, both at the middle school and high school level now, dance, debate, elementary music, music theory, jazz band, again, both at the middle school and high school level now, orchestra, speech, and theater. And we have 130 teachers, and we have about 20,000 students that are currently enrolled in fine arts courses in the district. This is just a look at the enrollment trends, like all of our enrollment in this district. These are our 5 largest programs, and you can see where that has come from and where it is currently at. So we know in our district all students in grades K through 6 are currently enrolled in a fine arts class, meaning that they receive instruction in the fine arts at least once a week in our district, every student K-6. And then those in grades 7 through 12, we have about 75% of those students that are currently participating. And there's a breakdown there. It's very consistent, both at the middle school and at the high school levels there. So about 8,760 students that are participating. And it says there that they're involved in one or more fine arts classes, because we do have several that we call double dippers or triple dippers, meaning that they will take multiple fine arts courses at the same time. And the number for those, counting all seats, is up here at 11,526. And there's a breakdown there in the top left of the actual enrollment numbers, again, knowing that some students are involved and enrolled in multiple courses, but very healthy, strong programs. We are very proud of the fact that we are continuously named to the best communities for music education in America, and this one is the graphic up there from 2017, but we're just notified today we're actually on there for 2018 as well, which we're always proud of, but in my mind it's an expectation, and that's an award and a list that we are able to be a participant on due to our community and our board and our teachers and our parents and our awesome students and their commitment to fine arts in Northwest. And I'll draw your attention to one of the pictures there. The one on the lower right is a new event that we had this year. We got all 3 of our marching bands together here in the fall for the first time, and we had a band extravaganza, and it was fantastic. We filled the NISD stadium, and we had a ton of kids on the field and a ton of people there to watch. So something that we started, it was our first one, but we're going to definitely make that an annual event. And here's some look at just some awards and achievements. You can see students there that are celebrating victory. So I'll just provide you a highlight. This is just a small list of some of the achievements, and I'll just draw your attention to a few of them. We currently have our musicals, which we're very proud of and involve a whole lot of kids. They are up for awards at Dallas Summer Musical, including Best Musical. So they're actually going to go over there and perform in Fair Park with other districts around the area, and then we'll get awards, hopefully Best Musical Award, which we have yet to win, but we're very close, and I'm real optimistic for this year. So that's something that we're real proud of.
You can tell that's not important to Kevin at all.
I know. Well, it would be the best and most sought after. We want to win in front of people, right? So
we haven't won yet.
I know. We've gotten very close. I did want to bring your attention to another one, third bullet up from the bottom. We do have 287 students selected to perform at the region level or beyond. So that's a fantastic number and just shows the dedication and commitment of these kids and their individual achievements on their particular instruments or their voice. And then right below that, real proud of this, last year we started collecting the fine arts scholarship amounts that our seniors were receiving in their area of study. And last year that was $1.4 million that was reported to us. And this year, I'll go into it a little bit more detail here in a second, but we already know that number is above $2 million. So we're very excited, and that's just a really great tribute to what these kids do, their hard work, and it's also a great avenue to get them through college debt-free and to get them, discovering their level of personal success, which in some cases is going to be starting their job without a damaging amount of financial debt. So we're very proud of these kids. And then last bullet there, just want to say that we're proud of all of our teachers for taking advantage of different financial opportunities and funding opportunities that are available to them. The NEF is a huge supporter, but there's also grants through TEA, through Texas Music Educators Association, and so we've over the past 9 years gotten more than $500,000 in grants, different innovative programs to go inside the classrooms. Just a couple of shots of our musicals. Each of our high school does a full Broadway musical each year, and then in addition to that, we have one of the only ones in the state that I know of that is a full district-wide musical. So this year we had all 5 of our middle schools. Next year we'll have 6 participate in this. And they do a Broadway scale musical, and it's a real fantastic event. And the kids just do amazing things. Our musicals are just fantastic, and they are highly attended. As you can see that at the bottom, we had more than 7,500 in attendance for these 4 shows. Which brings us to some of the challenges that we face. You can see just a few shots there of some capacity and then some crowds, some standing room only, some events where unfortunately we have to have people standing in the halls so that they can watch their students from either the monitors in the packs, or sometimes they just can't get in at all to see them. So that's the first challenge that we do face, and it is an awesome challenge because we have so many kids in our programs, have so many parents and guardians and community members and people that want to come support them and see the shows. And we have people that come see our shows that don't even have kids in our district. They just want to come and see the shows, and they come and they're always pleasantly surprised at the quality. But that does lend itself, and we do, because of the bond, we have classroom space. We've got some portables at a couple of our middle schools that we use as fine arts classrooms. So instructionally, we're on a great track, and we've got lots of room for the kids during the day. It's their performances. It's a horrible thing to have to tell a parent that they can't get in to see their kid. And sometimes the fire marshal does that for me. I don't have to, but other times, we do our best. But it's a challenge. It's a good challenge, but it's a challenge. We also deal with supplying an ever-increasing number of musical instruments for our programs. We kind of talked about that a little bit in the board workshop earlier. The kids come to us already playing a musical instrument, and then we have to make sure that we have one, because they don't all just come in August. As you know, they come all throughout the year, and we need to make sure that if we don't have a tuba at that campus where they enrolled and they came from a surrounding district playing tuba, that we get one there for them so they can continue to learn on that instrument. We don't have to put them on something else. But that's a challenge to continue to. A lot of districts pass bonds for that. We're able to pay cash for ours still, which is a fantastic position to be in. But it's a challenge. Along with that growth just comes general budget support because of the increasing numbers each year. Everything from student travel, sending our kids to games, to contests, to competitions, to the Dallas Summer Musical and getting them tickets there. Uniforms, all the maintenance and repair that go with all the instruments, and then just the general supplies, all the materials and all the different things that go with supporting the program. So again, a challenge. Even if we hold our budget where it's at from one year to the next, it's still a huge hit because we're accommodating so many more students with the same budget that we had that I consider that a budget cut. It's very difficult to keep up with that. But we're doing it, and our kids are being very successful with that. So we have a positive outlook for that. Along with that just comes general increase in student activity account funds. This next year, our district, our fine arts office, is taking on all the student activity accounts from the campuses, and we're processing those through our offices. We're not running school money through booster clubs any longer, which I think is a great move, was suggested by finance. I think it's the right thing to do to keep the NISD money in NISD accounts. But nonetheless, that's a little bit of a financial burden on us just processing-wise. So we will be able to rise to that challenge and figure out how to go on serving our students successfully there. And then, of course, the last one just goes with every area in the district, just recruiting those highly qualified teachers, because we know that the teacher that we put in front of the kids is the most important thing we will do for their education. So taking a look at how we make sure our kids are future ready, I'm not going to list all of these, but you can read them. One thing I will bring your attention to is one that we did. I did a seminar. We had about 100 folks show up to learn how to earn money in college using their musical instrument, looking at college as more of an investment, not just a learning opportunity. And, of course, our goal there was to get kids through college with as much scholarship as possible so they'll finish debt-free and not have that financial burden when they graduate. So that was very well received. We also had a first ever this year. We had a district jazz band concert, which was a really great night. This is a look, it's just some pictures of some innovative programs, everything from bringing in Andy Timmons. He's a rock star. He was lead guitar for Danger Danger back in the 80s, if you remember that. Came in and worked with some of our kids. We have steel drums. We have all kinds of other instruments, ukuleles, and we have pottery wheels and just some different things that we're very proud to offer our kids in our comprehensive programs. And then here's a look at all of our groups out in the community. Of course, we have art out in the community. We have kids out in the community. They're displaying their work. They're giving back to the community. We asked every group, every fine arts group, to do one thing out in the community. Most do many more. And so we're very proud of that. I love to see our kids out showcasing their talents, but more than that, just giving back to the community that supports them so much. And finally, I'll just leave you with this. I hope you all received an invitation. This is another first ever event, going back to celebrating the scholarship recipients in our fine arts areas. Dr. Thornell approached me with a great idea last year as we collected this information and found out that our kids were getting so much money for college, and we wanted to see how we could honor them. So we have put together a fine arts scholarship breakfast where we will honor all the kids that will be receiving fine arts scholarships for this coming year. So I'd like for you to all know that you're invited to that. We'd love to have you there. We're going to have a lot of students. It's going to be a great morning, and that's on May 4th. And that's what I have. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Dr. Lace, great job. A lot of these programs I've been to, throughout the musicals, and can you go back to the picture with the band showcase? You undersold it a little bit.
That was a great night.
Yeah, it was. You mentioned that it was just the 3 high school bands, but in the picture, I want everybody to see that the 4 middle schools are there right at the sideline.
That is true.
Everybody's there, which was amazing.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point. Yes, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, we actually have the 5 middle schools out there as well. Yeah, they're down front.
And then for the board members, the flute player there in that top left, that's Morgan McCrumbie. Her sister's in our the ponytail girl above the water table in our conference room. So we like the McCrumbie families because there are pictures everywhere. So there we go. Thank you. Great job.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lacefield. Excellent program. Moves us down to number 9C, which is Facilities Planning and Construction Monthly Report. Dr. Warren?
And I believe we've got Sarah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I changed up our picture. We are looking at the new prototype, Elementary 19, which the first one will be going up in Harvest, up in Northlake. So here's an overview of our projects, our planning projects, plus our construction projects, and I'll go through each of these during the presentation. So for Prairie View Hatfield, the roof replacement, we've connected that with the Ag Barn just to get a better price, and you guys actually awarded that tonight earlier. The natatorium, we had our first charrette last week. It was very interesting. We had Coach Melbourne, which is the swim coach from Byron Nelson, Joel Johnson, George Lukenhaus, as well as the Huckabee team, and just going over the placement of spaces, just seeing the best way to have that natatorium to best suit our students. Byron Nelson Edition, we are currently in the design development, and then the new elementary prototype, the picture I showed previous, the last 2 days of work, Monday and last Friday, I've done the 90% reviews for those drawings, so we're pretty close on breaking ground there. Here's the overview of Adams Middle School. You can see in the top right, our field's is going in. And just some visuals to show you around. You can see that we're grading the site and getting ready for landscaping. There's a closer view of the field and track. At the top of the screen, you can see the tennis courts and the field events. And then here's the interior. We have our flooring going in. That's terrazzo flooring at the entrance of the school. And this is just the hallway going from one wing to the next wing. Those lights up at the top of the picture are right in front of the library. And there's a view of the library. We have the carpets already in. We just have masonite down to protect it for the machinery that's in there. Just a view from the second floor looking across. To the left, you can see that's an open space in the foyer of the building. There it is. It's kind of the same concept that we have at Eaton, where you have collaborative areas around this space for kids to, there's monitors, there's marker boards so they can collaborate with other students or classmates. Just give you a better picture. And it's actually open. At Eaton, it's closed up, but this is an open concept from the first to second floor. We've got lockers in. We currently are only putting lockers in for 6th graders, slowly taking them away since we are going technology, digital. Then we have the rest of the 6th grade hallway. Flooring's going in. Just the finishes, we're getting close. Here's a class, science class. It's a double classroom. If you look in the middle of the picture at the top is where a partition goes through so they can team up with the science labs. And there's one of the art rooms. Just to the left of the picture is the access to outside. There's an outside space that they're able to utilize. Got a picture of the band hall. Carpet's in. Lockers are in. And this is the outside pavilion for bus loading and unloading. And this is the view from the stage into the cafeteria. And we've got the picture to the stage. Just a picture of the kitchen. We're getting all the equipment in, cleaning it up, getting out of there. And then our competition gym. Our bleachers are in, the floor's in. We just need to line it and finish it up. And then there's the other side, what you face as a spectator. So we have Lizzie Curtis. We've got decking, joists, steels going up. Actually, a roof is going to be starting in this area tomorrow. This is all complete. This is the same area. The deck's all finished, and they'll start with the wood for the roof tomorrow, like I said. Just working up on that ICF. Bricks going up. At the end of the week, it's going to start going up. We have an ICF pour tomorrow and hopefully another one at the end of the week to finish it up. We are doing something new at Lizzie Curtis. You're currently looking at the library. Since we've been working with the new prototype number 19, it's an open concept. We took the walls out of the library to give them that open concept, just starting that feeling to see how that works before we get to 19. So currently you're looking at the library, and that's the open space. It'll be open to the hallways. I just wanted to give you a kind of a visual. A and G, ICF, everything's poured with the red outline. The A and G, steel's up, decking's up, roof will be going up starting tomorrow. In the D, E, and F, ICF should be up within the next week and a half, so that the roofers will just, or the steel will just follow them, as well as the roofers. Here is Hughes Elementary School. The far left is area H, the far right is area G, and then we have the cafeteria and gym at the bottom. So this is H, the steel's up. Joists are going up as well, so this was last week, but we're progressing, and so we have the joists going up in this area currently. Here is the connection between the new stage and the former gym. There's a cleaner picture. And then we have the addition for the cafeteria. Currently, where we have the openings, we actually have our storefront installed. So that project's going great when it comes to schedule. This is area G, our infamous courtyard. We have poured all the grade beams, and with the rain this week, we're hoping to pour the slab by Saturday. This is a new project that we're working on, the safety and security upgrades in the reception area. If you can see just past the reception desk, we are building a wall with a door. This door is going to be access only. The people at the desk will have to buzz you in if you don't have a card reader or a card badge. So staff can get in and out without anybody having to push them through. But this is our part of our upgrades that we're doing for that. There's just a few views of that. This summer, we will be bidding out the safety and security to give them the buzz reader and the access at the front of the building to be able to see them before they enter the building. Any questions?
Sarah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The ICF construction that we're using, you probably told us just when we went out for bids, but is it saving us money or is it just compressing the time schedule for completion?
There's a few things. It's a schedule. It helps with schedule, and it also is a Tim might be able to just explain better, but it's supposed to be a cost savings when it comes to air as well.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of time saving in the construction protocol. You wouldn't recognize that from the pictures because we had some opportunities at the first that were challenging with our development, given that we're going into a scenario where there's no streets or anything and some permitting issues. But it does provide a quicker construction time, but the real benefit is energy efficiency. And so one of the reasons we really wanted to use it on this last prototype is that we would have an existing kind of traditional framed building that we've done all our buildings, and then this kind of new technology with the ICF, and we can actually do a side-by-side comparison of energy costs to see if the savings are truly what the program or the computer models show that they are. The cost is really quite comparative right now. I mean, when it first came out about a decade ago, or started hitting the education market about a decade ago, it was a little bit more expensive. But right now, it's about the same cost as a traditional steel frame construction. What we're really interested to see is that 1 year energy cost to see how it really compares with that heavy concentration of concrete in insulated form as a thermal barrier for the building.
Cool. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Love all the new buildings and everything. Do we have, for our older buildings, do we have like a maintenance schedule, like for paint, carpet, air? I mean, is there or is it just as a needs basis?
We do have a spreadsheet of when roofs need to be replaced, HVAC, and we're working with that. We've pushed back a little bit on the hard floor, the flooring. A lot of the schools, the flooring's okay. But you usually get about 20 years out of your VCT, and carpet's about 10 to 12 years. But yes, we do have a schedule, and we use that when we do bonds to see what's scheduled to be in the next 4 to 5 years from that. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Good job, Sarah.
That moves us down to any item consider any item removed from the consent agenda. There were none. That moves us down to Board President's report, item number 11. A few things I wanted to report to you, and that is each board member has been provided at their place a list of their continuing education hours. This time all board members have completed the hours required by TEA. So good job, guys. Next is suggested announcements with the Communities and Schools banquet. That is coming up this Friday at 11:30 at the Circle R Ranch in Flower Mound. So for those of you that have already registered for that, I guess it's probably too late. Jennifer? It's never too late. She says it's never too late. That's good. So if you want to go, please get with Jennifer and get set up for that. NISD Rangers Night. That's the Rangers versus the Detroit Tigers on Tuesday, May the 8th, Globe Life Park. And a group of NISD middle school students are going to be singing the national anthem, so that's pretty cool. And the exemplar educator from Hatfield Elementary, Leah Merrifield, is going to throw out the first pitch, so we're going to check out her throwing arm. Yes. They might actually recruit her.
She was very excited when she won it.
Sweet.
She was ready for it.
So, again, if you want to go to that, get with Jennifer, and she'll get you all set up. Last but not least is the SLI conference, which is coming up June the 28th through the 30th. And Jennifer, as always, as efficient as she is, has put the agenda down. So please fill out the courses you want to attend and get those back to her as soon as you can. So one of the things I wanted to note about that is that, according to Senate Bill 1566, training that is highlighted on the forms is a requirement for each board member to complete prior to September the 1st of 2018. So
please sign up for it.
Exciting training. We don't want to have any deficient board members next week. One last thing that's not on my list of things to talk about, but I think at some point in time we need to talk about them, is the demonstrations that some of our high schools may be having. I don't know if you noticed or not, but all of our phone numbers are published on Facebook last week. Luckily, they came back to the school. So you had some type of filter that prevented that direct dialogue, but it's probably one that we should have about how we want to move forward with that at some point in time. So if you have any suggestions, well, be sure and let me know, and we'll convey these back to the superintendent. So that's all I have. So moving on to superintendent's report, Dr. Warren.
Board, couple of things. Mr. Schluter suggested, because we are really, as John told you during the budget workshop this afternoon, we're really going to start digging into the weeds when we come back for our next budget workshop on the 14th and then another one on the 28th. We are still going to start at 5 o'clock, but we're probably going to extend the budget workshop for an hour instead of 30 minutes. So the budget workshop will go from 5 to 6, and then I'll leave it up to you to decide. We can condense the executive session for 30 minutes and then start at the regular time for the regular meeting, or we can push everything back 30 minutes, whatever your pleasure is on that. But I do think we need to spend about an hour both of those budget workshops.
Probably depends a lot on what you may have us consider an executive session.
Well, I think we can do it in 30 minutes if we stick to the reports and do that as we do our business. Unless something comes up, I'll communicate that to you.
Well, no, all this is important, so I don't really want to rush it.
No, don't want to rush.
We don't need to.
But, one question for you. I'm not going to put words in the mouths of our committees, but I would say that it is pretty probable that we're going to come to you in the next month or so and talk about the new elementary number 19 in Northlake, probably to be named Lance Thompson Elementary. The family provided the land for that elementary school, and I think it would be a great gesture for that family for me to recommend that. One of the things that we don't normally do in elementary schools, just because there's so many of them that we put on the ground, we usually don't have the opening ceremony for a school, but because we're dealing with a family in this, I would recommend that we really think about having a groundbreaking ceremony for our elementary 19, especially if we go ahead and name that Lance Thompson. So just be thinking about that. Hopefully all of you have been able to look at the art show. We've got the elementary art show going on today. Phenomenal talent out there. Tomorrow, as a posted meeting, we have the second work session for our strategic vision, and the summit will be going on. We'll have committee members back at noon. We will feed them again, and then we're going to start working on that recommendation to bring to you. Friday is Northwest Reads. I know several of you have already signed up to read. Thank you very much. And that's always a neat thing. This coming Saturday, April the 28th at 6 p.m. is the Lucky Spur Ranch, at the Lucky Spur Ranch in Justin. We're going to have the Northwest Education Foundation Gala. So that's always a great time to not only honor our contributors to NEF, but also hopefully get a little bit more money from them. So that'll be good. And then if you have absolutely nothing else to do, next Tuesday, May the 1st, I will have my next Facebook Live chat to the community. So if you'd like to get on and ask me some really cool questions, please feel free to do so. Mr. Schluter, that's all I have.
Board members?
What's your topic?